Hello everyone. Thank you for taking the time off to join this webinar. We will now begin. Let me just stop the video first. Okay, and I'll be sharing the slides now. Okay, before I begin, right, if you were to hover your mouse to the bottom of the screen, you will see a Q&A button. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, just type your questions there and we will address them later at the end of the webinar. Okay, so just a quick intro. I am June. I'm the marketing manager at Adventus. And for those who are not familiar with us, I'll be doing a short introduction on Adventus first. Okay, so about Adventus, we're an ICT solutions and services company that provides a wide range of products and services. We have more than 1,000 contractual customers and cater to a lot of different requirements that our customers may have. We have close to 500 employees, and we are serving our customers globally on a 24/7 basis. So we have offices around the world to provide on-site IT support, and it's namely in these 14 countries and these 22 cities. Okay. These are our awards and certifications. Adventus is very big on service excellence. That is why we ensure that we are awarded the Singapore Quality Class Star for service excellence. We have been named the best IT services provider by Singapore Business Review for 7 years in a row, all the way from 2018 to 2024. And to ensure that what we are doing is of world-class standards, we have all these different ISO certifications. And lastly, at Adventus, we believe that happy employees make happy customers. That's why we invest a lot in our employees to make sure that they are working happily in our company and hence serving our customers better. So just some recent HR awards that we won would be this Great Place to Work recertification, as well as another HR Excellence Award for this year. These are the technology partners that we are working with. So basically, we have a close working relationship with most of the big players in the market. And in today's session, we have partnered with TRS Forensics to give you an insight on the Cyber Essentials mark. These are some of our clients. We serve a multitude of customers from SMEs to the big enterprise customers. So just to name some, we have Toyota, where we provide end user support supporting 800 computer users in Toyota. We manage the firewall for LBBW in Singapore, China, and Korea. We manage the network and server for Shiseido. This covers around 100 servers and enterprise network for 400 users. For KPMG, we do end user devices patch management for around 3,500 computers. So at Adventus today, we have 8 very strong business pillars, and I'll go a little more in depth into each of them. So here's a breakdown of the services in end user support services. We provide remote support, on-site support, and also staff augmentation, where we place a headcount into our customer's environment. And for cloud and on-premises infrastructure services, we provide services such as infra monitoring, infra maintenance and support, infra upgrade and migration, managed network services, managed backup and disaster recovery services, and even new office setup or relocation. When it comes to cybersecurity, we are CSRO licensed to be a service provider for Managed Security Operations Center, SOC in short. So these are some services that we provide here. There's endpoint protection, patch management, multi-factor authentication, firewall, vulnerability management, and managed network access control. So some of these solutions are needed in order to attain the Cyber Essentials mark. So Jubei and Keith will go through this later. Then for IP and cloud telephony, we have our own SPO service provider license. So we can provide services for on-premises IP phone systems as well as cloud telephony systems such as Microsoft Teams direct routing. Under telco solutions and services, today we are partnering with Singtel in this area. For managed print services, we manage photocopiers and printers, and we also have several cloud-based print solutions as well. When we talk about physical security, such as your CCTV and door access, you need the security service provider license from the Singapore Police Force, and this is ours. So we can provide solutions, consultancy services, and maintenance and support for CCTV and door access systems. In terms of application software services, we currently provide services for ServiceNow and Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM. So over at Adventus, we have over 300 engineers in an extensive suite of ICT domains and disciplines to cater to various needs of our customers and clients. So each of these divisions comprises of engineers that specialize in their particular field. And in today's market, Adventus is strategically and uniquely positioned in the market because we are the only IT vendor that can do all these solutions in-house, from your print to CCTV to IP telephony to cloud. We can be your single point of contact in all these areas that we have. Okay, so now I'll hand over to Jubei, the cybersecurity manager from TRS Forensics, who will go more in depth into how Adventus and TRS Forensics can help you attain the Cyber Essentials mark. So once again, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, just type your questions in the Q&A portion below, and we will address them later at the end of the webinar. Jubei, over to you.
Thank you so much, June, for the introduction. I'll just quickly share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, can.
Okay, so before we start, I just wanted to sort of introduce my company, TRS Forensics, and what we do on day-to-day basis and the services that we give. So to start with, basically, we work on like three main pillars, which is cybersecurity, digital forensics, and data protection. I'm gonna be a bit fast on this just so that we can jump straight into the webinar. And these are our three main service pillars, and we're the only cybersecurity and data protection service provider to have attained like the three major certifications awarded by IMDA, which is DPTM and APAC, CBPR, and PRP. And we're also listed by IMDA, and we're like also providing a lot of like similar like certifications which are like provisioned by CSA, the CE and the CTM. We're also helping companies with those sort of certifications. Other than that, we also do a lot of things on cybersecurity and data forensics and data protections. And TRS was awarded the SME Cybersecurity Excellence Award in 2023. And these are just some of the achievements that TRS have managed to like obtain so far. And this is our client list so far. This is just an overview of the services. So, like I said, we do a lot of IT security process related stuff, vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, policies, a lot of things with policies, implementation. Yeah, so those are the very like core stuff that we do at the cybersecurity side, and also a lot of technical portion of it also. And this is for the data protection, which is mostly on the gap analysis and a lot on like data security policies and stuff. And this is for the digital forensics. So we do a lot of like investigation cases, handle a lot of like legal cases regarding like any sort of incidents. So we also do incident response. So yeah, this is like just I wanted to add on our services part, and also kind of wanted to give an overview of what TRS does. So since the webinar is today about like what every SME must know about Cyber Essentials, so first of all, it's an initiative from CSA to kind of introduce companies with like the basic cybersecurity like cybersecurity hygiene, and like so that you can start going more deeper into the cybersecurity ecosystem. So to start off, this is like a very familiar screenshot or like a picture that I think most of you know, which is WannaCry. So the reason I brought this up today is because like one of the main reason this ransomware was like a massive success for like the attackers was because like most of the devices that this one managed to affect was not updated. So I mean, just imagine, just because your device is not updated, you can get hacked or ransomware. So like this is very important to mention that just by having an outdated Windows can be quite devastating. So just wanna show that this is the measures from like I said, the CSA did the initiative, and these are the top 5 measures for C. You can see the update is like there, and backup and response, and obviously secure and like the assets. So if you go like and follow this, first of all, you need to first list your assets, then you need to protect them, then you need to update them, and then you need to basically keep a backup of those, and you basically respond after that for any incidents. So this entire thing makes sense if you go from straight to bottom. I mean, it basically shows where you should put more of your priority, and this entire thing, the 5 measures, focuses on the very essential things on the cybersecurity ecosystem. So yeah, now if we look at the key points of this, it's actually for companies that are embarking on their cybersecurity journey. Just to note here, CE or CTM, these are very like if you compare the easy and hardness, ISO will be like here, and CE will be like still at the bottom. So these are like just like the baby steps toward like this massive, massive like sort of like identity that you're gonna have, right? So CE, CTM, these things are still a baby steps towards it, but you need something to start with, and C is exactly that. So any company that even you think of like, hey, I should start somewhere, right? So C is exactly that thing. It simplifies the cybersecurity prioritizing and mandatory measures to focus, like I said, and targets the SMEs, which needs to basically adopt this. And the amazing part is like it has funding support of up to 70%. So, which is like really nice overall. It's like everything is kind of there. You just need to go in and implement these measures. All the supports are there available. You just need to obtain it. So what I did for this webinar, I kind of pulled down, even like this C is like so basic. Still, I pulled out all the like very required stuff you need in order for you to get the C. It's not like you're just gonna do this and things gonna be done. But I just wanted to show or highlight like why these things are quite important, or like why these are like very at the core of this thing, cyber essentials. So you can see like employee awareness, hardware and software management, like, which falls under the assets. Data security, obviously you need to maintain critical business data and also maintain an inventory for that. Virus, malware protection, like I said, very basic stuff. Access control might seem um, a bit like too much overhead for some companies, because if it's a small company, you don't want to maintain so much, put so much control in place. But this is a start, right? So you can do at a very basic core. And this is why this thing is so nice, that you can just start and then slowly adapt to even bigger stuff. Secure configurations, which is like quite straightforward. Default credentials, default configurations, software updates. I mean, also straightforward. Backup, like I said, you need to keep backups. Quite straightforward. Incident response. Basically, if something happens, or you might also establish a plan so that if something happens, what are you going to do next, right? Very straightforward things. If you think like, I feel like these things are very obvious things also for people who are not even that much, exposed to IT, but they would know, they would look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is very basic stuff, for sure. Um, And that's why like it's called CE, Cyber Essentials, right? Okay, so from these like mandatory provisions, I wanted to touch a bit on the technical perspective. I mean, like still most of this involves technical stuff, but also wanted to touch a bit on the like a few things that are I feel like that uh, can get a bit technical for some companies. So that's why like I pulled down the 5 from here and started with like virus and malware protection. So what are the things you should consider for this specific step, which is antivirus, EDR, and firewall. So here, the reason I added EDR is actually for not really a requirement for SMEs, but a lot of companies would love to have it because it's much more effective than an antivirus. And it's like something that is trending in cybersecurity. So you might want to see that. And how this thing works is basically, if I introduce you to this too, antivirus does like a scan, right? But for EDR, it looks out for those threats. So it's a completely different approach. And obviously firewall, which is obvious, you guys know what a firewall does, which is also one of the basic measures in terms of like the technical perspective, if we look at the technical perspective of it. And then, okay, secure configuration. So for secure configuration, TRS also does implementations on with like CIS benchmarks. But what do we do here, right? We basically try to protect those initial entry points with specific configurations. Obviously, mapping to CIS. That also limits the network exposure. Give me a sec. I'm trying to catch my breath up. It's early morning. Yeah. I hope like I'm getting my coffee straight. Yeah. Okay. So this is like for the secure configuration part, and it kind of limits your network exposure also, and helps very basic things to not get passed through that zone that you have, right? I mean, within your network system, things like your data, like your sensitive data, should be at least some way in a zone that is like at like having a basic protections. So this secure configuration kind of ensures that. Patch management, straightforward. For those who doesn't update their devices, this is like a very massive helpful solution. So it'll push all those updates to those devices. And like I said, the WannaCry would have been solved if the updates were pushed. Yeah. I'll be talking very generic also. Don't want to go so deep that things just fly around. Then backup. You obviously need to consider this one, that you need to back up all your critical business data, and also you need to do it regularly, right? And also you need to have like a set up like a policy, how you're gonna do the backup. Is it monthly or is it regularly, or where you're gonna set up the backup, online, offline? So these are all actually stuff very clearly described in Cyber Essentials. So all the things that I mentioned here, the technical thing that I feel like for SMEs could be a bit hard, even though like let's say like it seems hard, but these are very clear, straightforward in the CE CE checklist. And this is the journey with TRS. How do we solve it for you? Very straightforward. We get the documents, things that you have already existing, and we obviously do a review. We do a gap analysis, and then we sort of go through the policies, and then we seek for your approval for any sort of amendments. We go to implementation with CIS, and then we also help you with the awareness training and everything. And after all the things are done, we do a final review. We sit with you, and then we send you for the assessment. And then hurrah, you have your CE done very fast, and it's quite straightforward, very easy. We just help you attain it, right? So this is how the entire journey looks like. And if let's say I want to add a bit from here, so you can see like this portion comes here at the implementation part, and also if you see implement additional security measures for IT infrastructure if it's needed, we're going to even help you on that. But in general, this thing is very straightforward and very easy for companies to obtain it. So it can be a baby step towards your first cybersecurity journey, and you might want to see how it tastes like, because this thing is very interesting as you sort of like uh, go towards it and slowly like obtain it. So and like the things that the the way we do it is it's quite interesting. We always try to always keep a very engaged communication with the client side in this journey, and we will have like a continuous back and forth communication to deliver it as fast as possible. So the faster the client gives us, the better we review, and then instantly we deliver, right? And that's how we sort of complete the entire scene. We have like a lots of stuff or like templates or like policies or procedures listed already from our side, which is like standardized. So it's like very easy for us to go and just deploy. So yeah, if this is something that you can consider, but if let's say if you wanna see like, hey, seek someone to kind of assist you on this specific portions, we can definitely come in and help you out, right? And obviously for like for since like we have like partnered with Adventus, a lot of this uh, like like problems regarding like technical difficulties or anything like the 5 measures that I've covered, the this 5 measures, all right. I believe Adventus can definitely also come in as like an additional support, and we can always like kind of merge into it and create a very like robust cybersecurity posture for a company, even though it's an SME. But they should definitely try to like at least establish a basic or bare minimum cybersecurity posture for their company, and this kind of ensures business also, because when you have this CE, you can kind of show off it to our customers like, look, I care about your data, so I'm getting CE. And now I can like show you that, hey, I'm like, maintaining all of this. I'm trying to make sure you're also, and my company is protected. Everyone is kind of secure. So this kind of shows like you care, right? So that's why like this entire journey it's like laid out like this, and it's also the way we do it. It's also very engaging, like I mentioned, and it kind of helps sort of like boosting up the process. Yeah, I think like this is how the entire thing looks like. But if I just go back a bit here, the mandatory provisions, right? So like I said, it starts with assets like inventories. That's why like there is hardware and software assets and these asset managements in place. And once you kind of like look at it, it kind of makes sense. You make a list, you prioritize those those devices or those things that needs to be secured. You set up access controls for those, right? You set up secure configurations for overall infrastructure, and you ensure the updates, and you do the backup and incident response if something happens, and also in an active measure. This entire thing, if the thing I just mentioned, it's very straightforward, right? And it makes so sense. So that's why like CE is like literally the baby step of cybersecurity, and it's like very easy for companies to sort of obtain it. So I feel like if you're in the SME industry and you really want to kind of like start your journey And also at the same time, like I said, the business perspective, you want to show it off. Like, hey, you see, I care about cybersecurity. And this is a very trending thing, right? Cybersecurity. So you might want to show it off and also get additional benefits, right? For example, your competitors might not even be considering this, but you might consider it, and you'll be like, "Hey, I do this." They don't. They don't care about your data. I do, right? So yeah, these are the things that can be kind of put together, and like I said, we can come in and kind of like ensure this thing gets established, and you basically uh, get your journey, a smooth journey with us, and get a smooth experience with us, and get your CE done, right? And I feel like so far with the CE experience and me consulting companies, this has been like very interesting because it's so straightforward, and also companies understand it. So it's like a very smooth communication, and it gets done so fast, and also funding, right? So it's just amazing overall, the entire experience. So yeah, I guess I will kind of end here. Uh, and also, like I said, why every, like, SME must know about it. Like I said, it gives funding. It's so straightforward. You can literally just go and implement it like within a month or so, and you can literally have like business, um, you can literally compete with other other competitors that you have, just having this as an additional uh, add-on that you can like additional measure that you've done to show that, hey, I care more about you, and at the same time you get recognized, right? You basically come out as like one of those who cares about this industry, and also the data of their both like company and also the customers, right? So this kind of shows responsibility, maturity in a company. So and like the entire journey that I've just sort of like introduced and described to you guys, is like these are the very basic core stuff that you should know about cyber essentials next time when you're going to consider, right? Because next time if someone comes and tells you, hey, you should do C, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know. These are like the very basic stuff I can do. Oh yeah, I will be more than happy to do C if it's required. Because a lot of the companies now, sometimes like Microsoft, Google, they might even ask you, let's say you want to be their vendor, they might ask you, you need to do CE or CTM, right? So you might really want to consider this and look at it, how you're going to be sort of like introducing this to your client, and also how you're going to be using this, or using this like a like a stepping stone to move forward, right? So yeah, I just wanted to sort of like pack all this up and kind of like give you guys the overview and how this entire thing looks like. I guess I'm gonna be ending my session here. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Jube. So next we
Over to
have
June.
Keith, our manager for infrastructure services at Adventus. So Keith, over to you. You're muted, yeah? Remember to unmute yourself. While waiting for Keith to connect, right? If you guys have any questions, just a reminder, just type them in the Q&A portion below lah.
Hi, sorry about that. Yeah, thanks, Jun. Right, so I'll be covering, how Adventus works with TRS is Adventus will be coming in terms of the implementation of the solution, and also the management, right, of the solution moving forward for you guys. Okay, so the first thing that I want to cover is on the Microsoft Intune. It's part of Microsoft 365 ecosystem, especially in terms of the device-based conditional access solution. Okay, so in order for you to start on the Intune, so the first thing that you need is the correct license on Microsoft 365, which is the Business Premium Microsoft 365 E3 or E5 license. So with that, it gives you this feature called the Entra ID Plan 1 with Intune. And with this feature, all right, you'll be able to, it opens up a lot of possibilities in terms of device management. Right, we all know what Intune is about. It's all about mobile device management. And on top of that, it gives you the necessary tools to help you to actually manage the entire security of your Microsoft 365. Right, for example, it helps you to restrict access of the devices to your Microsoft 365 platform. Right, and not only that, the devices, on top of restricting devices, the devices needs to have the correct security profiles before they're allowed to go into your Microsoft 365 platform. Okay, so Microsoft today, under the Gartner Magic Quadrant, for those that are familiar with it, for unified endpoint management tools, they are the leader today. Okay, so in terms of deployment, how do we deploy, this Intune, right? Is we need to enroll all the devices, whether it be, your Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, right? We need to enroll all this to Intune. Okay, once enrollment is done, only authorized devices that's recognized by Intune are allowed to enter your Microsoft 365 platform. That includes your things like your Dynamics, your Azure, and other SSO clubs apps that are supported by the Entra ID. Okay, so I think we are quite, we have heard a lot of news about, users' credentials got leaked online, all right? Then threat actors actually use these leaked credentials to go into your Microsoft 365 accounts. That's how email, got accessed by all these threat actors, right? All this can actually be mitigated with this feature, all right? So even though your users' credentials got leaked, but the threat actors or the hackers try to log into your Microsoft 365 account using these leaked credentials, they will not be able to enter because their device is not recognized or authorized. Okay, so even with the correct credentials, it's useless. Right. Not only that, so having the right devices is the first step. All right. Second step would be you need to have the correct security profiles. The device needs to meet all the requirements that you have set up. All right. For example, the device that is authorized needs to have the latest operating system installed, and they need to have endpoint protection or antivirus, right? Or we can even say that the device needs to have two-factor authentication, right, installed on the device before they're able to log into your Microsoft 365. Okay, so just remember, having the right device is not enough. The device needs to meet your minimum security requirements. Okay, so that applies to your laptop and also your mobile devices. So even though your device is correct, but it's not 100% compliant, maybe it meets a few of the requirements, but not all, they'll be immediately blocked from accessing your 365, right? Because these are considered risky devices. We do not want risky devices into your environment. Right, so with Intune, we are also able to use a lot of these templated policies to harden your devices. All right, whether it's Windows, Mac OS, Android, or iOS, we're able to use these templated policies to harden your entire devices. So some of these template policies, like password policies, device encryption policies, right, or having the Windows firewall enabled. Okay, so another thing that is often a headache to a lot of IT managers or companies is how do you treat BYOD devices, all right? At the same time, you want the users to be able to work remotely or on the go, but at the same time, you're afraid that your company's information might be leaked out, right? Because of these BYOD devices, right? Rest assured, Intune has a solution to that, right? Because we can actually deploy this thing called company work profile to your devices. Okay, so there will be clear distinction between personal and work profiles. So for under these BYOD policies, we have these corporate app protection policies. Okay, so if this corporate app protection policy, if it's properly configured, all right, you'll be able to restrict data of your company's data in the devices. Okay, so these work profiles here, right, it shows that these are all the approved applications from your company, right? Things like your Outlook, your Office apps, your SharePoint, right? These are all seated in your work profiles. And whatever information that you have here, you are not able to bring it out of your work profile. For example, you're not able to copy maybe a certain sentence from your email and paste it onto your personal WhatsApp. You're not able to. Okay, at the same time, you're also not able to do any screenshots or save any data to your phone, right? So this is how companies is able to secure their data, but at the same time allows the flexibility to work on your own mobile phone. Okay, so what happens if your device is lost? We can also trigger a remote wipe from Intune. Right, from Intune, we're able to push down this. You'll be able to wipe your entire work profile, but not your entire phone. Right, your personal stuff, photos, games, or whatever, it will be left untouched. Only the work profiles will be wiped completely. All right, so this is how we secure the company's data in the event of lost or stolen devices. We can also deny, self-enrollment from the user. All right, so once we help you to deploy, into all these work profiles, all the devices, we help you set up all the necessary policies, right? Adventus then can come in to manage this entire thing for you. All right. So what is our value here, right? We can help you to monitor all the devices to make sure that they're complying to the policies that you have set up. So in the event that there's someone that's not compliant, right? Maybe it's a BOD devices, but this mobile devices is not updated. They're blocked for entering a Microsoft 365. Right, the team will then reach out to the users and tell them why they're being blocked and what they need to do in order for them to be able to access the system. Okay, at the same time, Adventus team will be helping you to constantly review your policies and update as and when required. All right, so once you reverse on our Adventus managed services, reporting is norm. Right, every month without fail, we provide you with this monthly report that states all the events that happened within the last month. What has Adventus done? Has Adventus' team meeting SLA that we promised to our customers. Okay, so all this, all right, for you to step on this journey, is very easy. It's just a monthly fee subscription-based payment to Adventus, and we'll be able to help you, all right, to meet this kind of security. All right, so what I've shared is on the Intune, the device-based conditional. So the next thing, which is also critical in your Cyber Essential Monk journey, right, is the endpoint protection, which what Juby has shared, right, or in layman terms, it's called antivirus. Right, why is it important? So I give you a case scenario, right? It's very common. So how user got attacked, right, is usually they receive phishing emails, right, and knowingly they'll click on the link of the phishing emails and then download this thing, and they'll run the malicious file, right? So and then the computer is encrypted by ransomware, right? But that is not the end goal of most threat actors or hackers, right? Your computer means nothing to them. It doesn't have much value. So the end goal is to be able to go roam inside your network and eventually lands on your server. All right, and your server contains all your company's information, all the critical information, and this is where they'll steal data and encrypt all your data. And this is what we know as ransomware. Okay, so how do we, as basic protection against this is you need to have endpoint protection solution installed on all your PCs, and not only that, you need to install it on your servers as well. Okay, and having the right solution is not enough. You need to have a team to monitor all the security events and alerts. Okay, so Adventus recommend Microsoft Defender for Endpoint Plan 2 and Microsoft Defender for Servers Plan 2, right? And it needs to have all these capabilities, for example, AI capabilities, XDR, extension detection and response capability, right? Not only that, Defender, why we recommend Defender is because Defender also comes, with these added features such as vulnerability scanning and assessment capabilities. Okay, and Defender today, right? They're one of the leaders, if not the top leaders, right, in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for endpoint protection. Okay, so again, so Microsoft Defender is actually part of Microsoft ecosystem. So with this, you're able to actually integrate with your Intune. All right. For example, if you have set up Intune properly, if Defender has detected certain threats on your Android devices, Defender will then talk to Intune, and Intune will then block these devices from accessing your Microsoft 365 environment. This is to make sure that you are isolated and you will not cause further harm to your entire Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Okay, until you have resolved the threats, you will continue to be blocked by Intune. Okay, so deployments, we help you deploy, the cloud console, help you to do the policy configuration and updates, help you to, set up the alerts configuration to make sure that it's channeled to the proper team. Okay, so how Adventus comes in after deployment is our team will help you to monitor the all the security events alerts 24/7. For example, if there's anyone that click on the malicious email attachments, our team will be alerted, and then our cybersecurity will be deployed to actually respond to these alerts. Okay. At the same time, we also be providing a root cause analysis in terms of writing report and letting you know how this attack came about and whether is there still any lateral movement within the environment itself. Okay, and again, reports, all right, very important. So all this for monthly fee or subscription-based payment. All right, so the next item that also Jubei has brought up earlier is the system of patch management. Right, Jubei has mentioned that it's very important to make sure that all your PCs are updated to the latest OS. Okay, but the issue is, a lot of companies that don't practice, patch a proper patch management, and a lot of them are still doing it manually. Okay, so if you have a certain size of a number of users and devices, you need to have automation or solution to help you to do all these deployments and patch management effortlessly. Okay, so again, having the solution doesn't mean it's the end of the story. You need to constantly manage the solution by monitoring, whether there's new patch coming in or whether the patch process is completed. Okay. So Adventus, we recommend these solutions, Ninja One, Atomox, or Action One. All right, and why we choose these solutions is because they're able to support all these multiple different platforms, and it has all these different features like huge libraries. It's able to manage the entire patch management from the start until the end. Okay, so they're also one of the leaders in terms of the Gartner Digital Markets Best Batch program. Okay, importantly, these solutions are user-centric. That means users get the flexibility, right, when they're able to reboot the device after every single patch. Right, some people may be tied up with something, they get to snooze or do the reboot at the end of the day. Right, they want to be forced to do a reboot. So Adventus, how we come in terms of deployment is we help you to set up the entire cloud console, set up the patch management policies, and deploy all these patch management agents to all the devices. Okay, and then we also configure alerts to respective teams to make sure that whenever there's a new patch being released, the team will be alerted, or if there's a certain patch that failed to deploy to the users, the team will also be alerted and rectify the issue for you. Okay, so yeah. Okay, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, we give you reports again. So all this, again, for monthly fee or subscription-based mail, which covers all the licenses and the managed services. Okay, so the next item that is also equally important in terms of multi-factor authentication services. So, a very easy example is the same case studies. User click on malicious team attachments, they got compromised. Hackers steal data, on your servers and encrypt your data. Okay, so how do we prevent that from happening? Is by having two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, right? So very commonly, password is a first level authentication, right? So that is very common, right? But this is not enough. So for you to further secure, all your logins to your systems, to your servers, you need to have another layer of authentication, okay? Which is what I call the multi-factor authentications. Basically, once you key in your passwords, there'll be an app, for example, Cisco Duo, all right? You pop up on your phones and you press allow the connections. Okay, so to make sure that you're really the one that tries to log into your system. Okay, so this provides a additional layer of security, right, to mitigate all these credential leak cases. All right, last one, in terms of managed firewall. So firewall is also very essential in terms of managing entire network security. Okay, some of the common challenges why, what is happening around the world today is you may not have the right guy or right IT guy that have the right skill sets to configure the firewall. It's not that simple, right? So firewall policies may not be properly configured, and hence, opens you to, to the possibility of you getting hacked. Okay, so IT personnel may not even turn on, all right, the available security features, for example, the antivirus, IPS, stuff like that. Okay, so examples of bad practices is maybe external traffic is allowed through commonly hacked ports, right? Or external parties can RDP into your network environment. Okay, so Adventus, right? We are conversing all these different brands of firewalls, right? Fortinet, Sophos, Palo Alto, all right, and on part of the management services that we provide to our customers, we constantly monitor your firewall performance and security, right? Through performance monitoring tools that we have in-house, where we help you to do all these break fix, maintenance, health checks, updates of your firewalls, and of course, reports, right? We give you reports of firewall performance for the last month. All this for a monthly fee and subscription-based payment. Okay, so to sum up, what I've just discussed with you guys. So this is a very it's something that Adventus heavily advocates in terms of cloud first and secure modern workplace. All right, so this is something that you can envision your company in the future, right? In terms of moving everything to the cloud, right? And with Microsoft as a backbone. Okay, so first we have your Office productivity suite, like your Office, your emails, your Teams, your OneDrive, right? Everything on Microsoft, right? You can migrate if you're still having on-premise Exchange servers, you can actually migrate them to Exchange Online, or you're using any other email platforms, you can also migrate them to Exchange Online, right? Using Microsoft Entra ID to replace your on-premise AD for your devices, right? If you have a file servers, you can also migrate them to SharePoint. Right, you have a CRM, the on-premise CRM, you can also migrate them to Dynamics 365, everything SaaS-based on the cloud. Okay, print server, you're still having on-premise print server, you can even migrate that to the cloud, right, using some of these solutions. If you are running any applications on-premise and you want to go serverless totally, you can actually migrate them to a platform like Azure, right? We spin out virtual servers for you, have zero trust network access policy configured, having a firewall to protect all your servers on Azure. Okay, domain controllers can migrate to Azure, all your ERPs, your HRMS, all right? Even we can have Azure virtual desktops. That means you don't need a very powerful laptops in your company. We can all move it to Azure VDI. Okay, and on top of that, we can have Microsoft Security Monitoring to monitor the entire Microsoft 365 platform to make sure that any security alerts is properly reacted. And device-based condition, of course, which we have shared earlier, to make sure that all your devices are properly complied, and proper protection to make sure all devices are secure, 2FAs, multi-factor authentications, patch management, right, to make sure that all these are patched properly. Secure web gateway, all right, we partner with Zscaler for this to make sure that all your devices network security is being handled. Vulnerability management, right? Constantly scan your devices for vulnerabilities, spam filters for emails, right? Backups for your 365 as well as for Azure, okay, and protections as well for your servers, 2FAs, server backups, as well as disaster recovery infrastructure, even on Azure itself. Okay, so let us know if this is a journey that you're interested in. All right, reach out to us. We have our account managers, to sit down with you and help you to basically help you together on this journey and fulfill all these cybersecurity requirements. Okay, so I think with that, I'll pass my time back to June.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Thank you, Jubei. So now it's Q&A. So let me just share my screen first. We do have a few questions coming in already, so I'll be pasting them over here so that Keith and Jubei can address them. Okay, so first question. What is EDR and what is CIS benchmark? Jubei or Keith?
Jubei, want to take this or?
Yeah. I think I'll take it. Okay. So like Keith said, EDR is like doing the sort of like extension of like detection and response. So like I said in my like extensive detection and response. So like I said in my previous slide, that antivirus and EDR works completely differently. Antivirus kind of like kind of like scans through your file, while EDR like actively looks for threats. So it's like we'll do real-time scanning, and also it will look for those behaviors, right? That if you are doing something funny, so they will have like AI related stuff that will kind of monitor this sort of activities. And also at the same time, it's very advanced. So if you think of traditional antivirus and EDR, you think like the way you should look at it is like antivirus might stop you from very traditional malwares because it works signature based. So let's say if some malware was published, or let's say some malware got caught, right, in the wild. So those signatures, they will have like a database, and antivirus will have those, and antivirus will basically try to run through and see whether this malware exists in that database. If it exists, then yeah, it will flag it. But if it doesn't exist, it basically it passes through. That's why like antivirus nowadays, uh, it's like sometimes they say like it's a bit less effective because like if let's say if there is an actual attack in place, it's very easy to bypass an antivirus. But EDR is not that thing. EDR is like literally, like I said, like it looks through your activities, what are you doing, your behaviors, and in real time it looks into your files and whatever you're doing with those files. So yeah, that's why like EDR is like more extensive into those threat detection and response also. And also it has like a quarantine mechanism. So let's say if certain thing doesn't really make sense, it will instantly put you into quarantine. So you will basically be kind of like stuck in that. Yeah. So and then like what is CIS benchmark? So CIS is like they're like one of like the standards for setting up certain like I said, like configurations or certain standards for certain implementations. So they kind of like come up with all these internationally accepted standards. And yeah, so if you follow that benchmark, you're kind of following the benchmark of like most of the companies that are that are kind of following. So you're basically maintaining a standard. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Typically, how much and how long will it take for the CE journey? So we have a few questions asking the same question also.
Okay, so I think I mentioned in my last slide, in my session, that it completely depends on like how fast the client gives us the documents, and then like we kind of process and send it back, and it's like a communication. So if let's say you respond faster, I can also deliver faster, but typically it takes about like 1 month or so. So it can be even faster, but if it can be also lengthier depending on like the response and uh, how we sort of deal the entire thing. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So next question, will the use of Intune infringe on the privacy of employees who are using personal phone? For example, will Intune monitor or block employee non-work related activities with their phones?
Right, if it's BOD devices, no. So basically, like mentioned, we have a work profile and a person profile. So the company will only manage the work profile applications. All right, whatever they have on their personal stuff, like their photos, personal photos, apps, the company cannot see that. Yeah, so we will not be able to monitor the devices as well. Only the company's applications, like your Microsoft stuff, like Outlook, SharePoint, Teams. Yeah.
Okay, next question. How do you prevent users from using third-party or built-in email apps on mobile phone?
Right. If the mobile phone belongs to company, that means a corporate mobile phone. Yes, you can manage entire device. That means you can restrict what kind or you can restrict what kind of apps they can have on their phones, right? That is only if this is the corporate mobile devices, right? That gives you the right to manage the entire device. If it's the BOD devices, unfortunately, you cannot manage what they want to download on the devices. You can only manage the work profile. That means only the corporate apps.
Okay. So, can an employee decide whether or not they want to subject their personal devices to BYOD if the organization has BYOD policy in place? Does it mean that if they choose not to, they will not be able to access work apps on
That's
their
correct,
personal device?
right? So if they if they choose not to embark on this Intune journey for these devices, they will not be allowed to access the company's emails and stuff on their devices. If they need to work on the devices, they need to be enrolled on this BLD stuff.
Okay. Next question. For Cyber Essentials, do we need to have a comprehensive list of software assets and user accounts for all software?
Yeah. So like I said, it's like a starting journey. So you need to first know your assets. It cannot be something that you list. Let's say you have like 10 devices, but you only list 9 because for some reason you don't think the 10th device is worth it to be mentioned. So it doesn't work like that. You need to have like a proper asset inventory, and yeah, you should like maintain like that. So this is how it goes. So you need to have like a proper list of all the assets that you have in your company, and it's like the first step that you should consider.
Okay, next question. What software do you recommend for EDR?
Right. So in our slides, we do recommend going for Microsoft Defender for endpoint. Right, not your basic Defender in your OS, but it's a paid version of Microsoft Defender for endpoint. Other than that, we also recommend solution like Sophos. Right, so if you want to know more, about these solutions, do reach out to our account managers. Right, we can schedule sessions to to go through all these different solutions with you.
Okay, next question. With the built-in security in OSS and MS365 business plan, is it necessary to implement EDR?
Yes, definitely. So having just the correct Microsoft plan is not enough, right? You need to have a proper endpoint protection solution that's running on your devices to constantly monitor and protect your device. All right. So the reason why you need to have antivirus, proper antivirus is whenever you got hit by something, right? You have a solution that helps you to detect and stop all these attacks. Having the right OS doesn't do all this. The OS doesn't help you to detect threats and stop the threats for you.
Okay, next question. On using Intune, does iOS have proper separation for personal or work profiles? Because I mean, this is seen on Android, but on iOS, it doesn't seem to have the separation.
Yeah, right. So on the personal work profiles, it only appears on Android, but iOS it doesn't have such clear separations.
So do iPhone users also have work profiles to set up?
Not like Android. Yeah.
Okay. Then next question. If the requirement is stringent, this will increase issues on mobile users. How can we really reduce the response time on support to these users that have problem with connecting back to the company services?
If the requirement is stringent, this will increase issues on can reduce support. Right, but this is where Adventus managed service team will come in. All right, so for the faster turnaround, so for example, if you engage with us on the managed services, if the user has problem connecting to the apps, maybe because due to the policy they're set up, right, they can actually reach out to a help desk, and a help desk will be able to help them to resolve these problems in a very, very quick manner. Right, because today at Adventus we have a very, very huge team at the back end, ready to support all these different users that have problems.
Okay, next question. I think this is the last two questions that we have time for. So this is one of them. For a company that has employees with low IT literacy, what is the best approach to CS essentials? Cyber essentials.
Okay. So I think like that's where we come in, right? We come in to help you. But like in terms of, let's say, if you still wanna like, let's say, try to implement by yourself, I feel like it's not about the literacy that matters, because the checklist kind of defines a lot of things. And it's not like you like the way the assessment form is done is like very high level. So it's not like everything that goes into that topic should be done. So it is more like a best effort basis thing. So you need to do whatever you can do at your best to kind of implement it, right? It's not like, let's say, you have to implement a certain solution just because like in that topic, maybe it's not directly mentioned, but in that topic, it kind of covers it, right? So it's more like I said, CSA wants it to be more on a best effort basis. So the more you can do, the better. Yeah.
Okay. Then I think we only have time for one last question. Does Adventus provide its own cloud server services?
Adventus, yes and no. So we do provide our cloud service for customers on backups. That means they can replicate their backup copies to Adventus Cloud, and we manage from there. But in terms if you're talking about hosting of your applications on cloud servers, unfortunately, no, we don't do that. So usually we work with Microsoft, like Azure, to help you to migrate, all your on-premises applications or servers to this public cloud platform, whether it's Azure or AWS. Yeah, we can help you we can do consultation with you in terms of what is needed or what or how much it will cost for this migration, right? We can work this with you.
Okay, can. So I do see some more questions, but I don't think we have enough time to address them. But then well, I'll move on to the next slide first. We actually have a feedback form for you guys to fill up. So if possible, kindly scan the QR code or even go to this link below. So at Adventus, we co-host webinars with our partners every month. So your feedback is very helpful and will be greatly appreciated. Yeah.
Yep. If you guys want to know more, about all the different solutions, Intune especially, do reach out to us. Fill this feedback form, reach out to us in terms of requirements, and then I will come and just get back to you.
Okay. Can. And to conclude this webinar, I would like to thank Keith as well as George from Adventus. Yeah, and Jubei and Ted from TRS Forensics also. Yeah, and also thank every one of you for joining us today. So after this webinar, for those questions that are not answered yet, right, your account managers will reach out to you and touch base with you. So for those questions that are not answered yet, we will address them. Your account managers will address them. Or if you have anything that you need urgent like answer to, you can always drop me an email that I can just reply them also. Okay, can. Then thank you everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.